always sit here and both of us play the drums.
Right. We're actually going to bring some drums in one day and just do that instead of playing the recorded version. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Another episode of For the Love of Dog. My name is Steve McLean, co-founder of The Little Red Dog. And as usual, I'm here with Gary Newcomb, our dog trainer, our dog savant, our dog wizard, overall good guy.
Dog
Gary.
Savant.
Yeah.
I've never gotten that one.
Yeah. I thought
I get dog whisper,
I thought I whipped
frequently,
it.
but yeah,
Oh,
now
that
I feel
guy.
high
That guy.
functioning.
That guy's good, but you're better.
Wow.
Anyway, as usual, the first part of our show strictly deals with dog behavior, and hopefully you picked up some tips through the years. Today, we're it's more about having a little bit of fun, and as dog owners, whatever breed that you love, it doesn't matter if your dog's a mutt, or a Doberman or a pitty of some sort. No one cares. Well, sometimes a lot of people do care, but we all think that our dogs are, intelligent and lovable and all that. And we always like to debate, who's the smarter breed. Maybe you might remember a couple of episodes back, we actually had some scientific data that they kind of proved by brain volume who was the smarter dog. And to everyone's chagrin, it was the Chihuahua. There's been a lot of controversy about that, but
yeah, that was fixed by Chihuahua people.
Nigel came in with that.
He seems like a mastermind who would be behind something like that.
He is. Anyway, we're going to kind of beef up on that a little bit and bring you some even more knowledge on measuring dogs' intelligence. And Gary is going to whip us up some details on that.
Some dogs in the news.
Some dogs in the news, or nude dogs.
No, not dogs in the nude. They still have their fur coats on. They're humans in fur coats, remember?
That's right, when they're not humans in fur coats. What do you got for us, Gary?
So this one is out of the country of Hungary. Hungarian researchers at a university I cannot pronounce have...
oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Spell it.
Eotvos, and there's so many symbols over these letters.
Yeah, Sam, what's the O with the two dots over it? What's that? Is that what that's called?
That helps me a lot. So at the Eotvos LORAND, I'll say Lorand.
MOUSE, Mickey Mouse.
Yes, university.
Mickey Mouse.
They have started a Genius Dog Challenge.
Okay, all right, I love it.
So they are going to people all over the world and trying to get them to submit videos of their dogs and how they react to naming toys. Whether they can retain the names of toys that you give to them into long-term memory. Okay. So it's two-part. It's how fast your dog can do it.
Right.
How many... Actually, it's a few parts. How many it can do, and whether or not they retain it to long-term memory. Can you bring it back long time later, a month later, and they still lock it in?
Right.
So
let me ask you a question. Sorry. On the long-term one, is it like, okay, we're going to teach you this, and then we're not going to talk about it for 3 or 4 days, and then we're going to do it again?
We're not going to talk about that one, but we're going to throw another 19 toys at you.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Week, and
so it really is a good test.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're hitting them with, the top end is, I think that they said that there was 20, they could remember 28, they're required to know 28 toys by name was the bottom bar that they set to get into the study.
Okay.
Several dogs recognize more than 100.
Get out of town.
You could literally
100 toys?
Yes, you
Jesus.
could literally have 100 toys in the room next door. Tell Nige, go get the purple dinosaur. Go get Barry.
Okay. Okay. Now, did they open this up to everyone in the world, or was it strictly Hungary?
No, it's all over the world. So the 6 gifted dogs they found were Max from Hungary, Gaia from Brazil, Neilani from the Netherlands, Squall from Florida.
Florida?
I know. Florida dog got in there.
Oh, that's suspect. That's suspect.
Whiskey from Norway and Rico from Spain.
Okay, so
unfortunately, we don't get breed information on what all those are.
All right, that's okay. So I love the fact that it's all over the world.
So yes, they definitely went all over the world.
But I'm sorry, Florida. I'm suspect on Florida.
I know.
Come on.
I know. I mean, I don't want to alienate our Florida viewers.
I was gonna make a bad taste joke. I won't make that joke.
Yeah, reel that one back.
What's going on in Florida? Okay, go ahead.
So other notable skills that these dogs displayed included learning up to 12 new toy names per week and retain them into long-term memory.
Wow, that's crazy.
So our studies reveal that not only are some of the dogs gifted in the ability to learn object names, but others are not, but also that these gifted dogs can learn new names very rapidly, some of them after only hearing the toy name 4 times.
And they didn't give any breed information, huh?
No.
Interesting. Did they have any like video of any of the dogs?
They do, but I didn't actually watch that.
I was just wondering if they showed, and the winner is.
Yeah, they have it on Twitter.
Twitter.
Go look it up on Twitter.
Maybe
the doctor
maybe
behind
Sam.
it is Andrea Sommese, SOMMESE, PhD.
Nice. Maybe Sam can find that while you're finishing.
2 minutes long.
Okay, we're not worried about it.
Yeah,
They're dogs.
They're dogs.
They're all dogs.
Well, I remember on the news like 4 or 5 months ago, it was a border collie.
Yeah,
and
they had that room full of toys,
and all the toys on the side of the couch.
Yeah, you could dig it out, the one that he wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
And she would say, bring out, Billy or the fish or whatever, and that dog was on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Huh. Well, it's funny because sometimes it kind of brings me to what I want to talk about with Tank. I don't think I mentioned that Tank and PJ were in a commercial. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about it on the show.
Somewhere, but
I don't think we talked about it on the show. And so I think what always fascinates me about, you're done, right? With
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
So what fascinates me about dog owners, because I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy that's going to work on tricks.
Yes.
I mean, every once in a while maybe, but not really. And it was what I found very interesting because, like, once I really got into dog ownership, I didn't really see the need to teach any of my dogs tricks because I was always too busy trying to teach them to be, have some manners.
Yeah.
And not
keep obedience in line all the way around.
Yeah.
Then you just kept adding more dogs. That also makes it harder.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. So I had, by the way, I had very little to do with that.
Yeah.
The boss wants, the boss gets.
Yes.
Anyway, my point is, Tank, who is, I know you're not supposed to have any favorites, but everyone knows I have 4 dogs. If you're in our program at all, everyone knows my favorite dog is Tank. In fact, I'm probably so bad at it that all the other dogs know that my favorite dog is Tank. Even though I try to be equal.
No, Tank is the only one you have a voice for.
Yeah.
When you talk in Tank, when you talk for Tank, he has his own voice. Everybody else, you just talk for
Well,
them.
that's fair, but in my defense, I had a great voice for Nigel, and no one wanted to go with it. I thought, to me, Nigel has like an English accent.
I was thinking that.
Yeah,
when you
I
said
think-
it, I was thinking,
yeah, I think-
he's probably got a British accent,
I
kind of
thought
on
I
the
nailed
evil
it.
side.
Yeah, I thought I nailed it, but no one in the fan. Well, Mackenzie backed me up on it, but PJ didn't like it. Anyway, again, the boss didn't like it.
Yeah, you can't even give the dog accents if she doesn't approve.
So anyway, so proud of PJ and Tank because we were there for maybe at least 5 hours. We were there, and it wasn't just video. We had to do 2 video shoots. And 1 photo shoot. Yeah, and so Tank was on 3 different sets in 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a human being.
Yes.
And on top of that, he was around
Countless
all
other
kinds of
dogs.
dogs. Yeah, big dogs, bad dogs, little dogs. Dogs that wouldn't shut up.
Yes.
And as good as Tank is, it was still making me a little nervous. But anyway, he was awesome. The staff, the director, the producer, everyone there, they were so sweet, and they treated Tank and PJ like they were the only people on earth. Just really
That's cool.
sweet, and I'm sure they did it for everybody. But I'd like to think that Tank's special.
Yeah.
But having said that, so we're near the end, and again, I'm just having a great time, and again, it was the only time I've been around that industry where everyone was super sweet.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably
That
because
is
of
a
the animals.
rarity.
It was. I mean, normally when I've been on sets, which is very rare, people are kind of crappy and.
Oh yeah, no, my kid had an agent when he was young, and we went and did all that.
To her?
Yeah, and
they're
was
shitty.
Yeah,
they're shitty. Anyway, but not Sam. Sam's amazing.
Yes.
Sam and Koji are amazing.
Yes, you need to hire them.
Anyway, I'm having a great time. I'm very prideful and very I've just had a great day. And the assistant producer came up to me, and they kind of for whatever reason, it kind of took me more as Tank's trainer than PJ's husband or whatever. And he comes to me and goes, hey, we like Tank so much. We really want to use him in this other commercial that we're thinking about doing. Would you guys be interested? I'm like, well, yeah, of course. This has been a fun time. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And, of course, I'm just, thinking and patting myself on the back, and all that bullshit.
That's my boy.
Yeah, that's my boy. And so this is the fun part. It gets back to what we're talking about. So the producer asked me, what tricks does he know? And it's funny because it's been such a long time since my brain would think that way. And my brain would think that way before I had a dog.
Yeah.
Because when I was, before I had a dog and you saw a dog do tricks, it was so much fun.
Yeah, you don't have a measurement for what makes a good dog.
Yes,
so a
exactly.
good dog is the circus dog who will stand on hinds and do circles. And, wow, that dog is really well trained.
Yes.
Not necessarily the staffy who will sit, across from a chihuahua that's barking at it ferociously.
And that's what I'm getting at. So I said, and for everyone that doesn't know Tank is an American Staffordshire Terrier, Amstaff for short. The quintessential pit bull, and he does look like if you're
he's
scared,
built like a tank.
Yeah, if you're scared of the breed, he is the quintessential look of I will literally rip your throat out if you look at me sideways. Now, to me and to Gary and to people that have been around dogs for a long time, he's a big dopey handsome. Lover. He's super handsome. He's very lovable. He wouldn't hurt you if you had 2 T-bone steaks around your face. He loves people. So anyway, when the producer asked me this question about what tricks does he know, I literally laughed and said I taught him not to kill people.
Yeah, that's a good trick.
So the guy kind of looked at me sideways, and I started laughing, and so he kind of laughed. And I go, "I'm sorry, dude. I just want my dogs to have good manners, And like to what you just said.
Yeah.
He was around Chihuahuas. He was around dogs that were so shitty.
Reacting to him.
Yeah, and I can't. PJ and I don't get all the credit. He's older. He's been around his shit a long time. He knows it's no big deal. Could I have taken him to this commercial? How long have we had him? 8 years ago? 9 years ago? No.
Yeah.
No. He did not have the mindset. But to PJ, to our credit, we did work with him. I think that had he not met PJ and I would still be good. But
the structure versus not structure definitely has some shaping effect.
Oh, absolutely. And I think he's been around Nigel, his little brother, for a long time, and Nigel's the quintessential Chihuahua.
He learns to put up with some shit.
Yeah, for sure. But the point that I'm trying to make, Gary and I love articles like that, like the tricks and dog intelligence. I totally love it. I totally appreciate it. I applaud anyone that takes the extra time to teach their dog anything.
I wouldn't do it for Huntington. Obviously,
right.
Honestly, I think that Huntington is remedial. After you've had a border collie like I did Lucas.
Well, you had such a smart, great dog.
He was a genius dog. And for him, I did teach him tricks. And I did teach Huntington tricks. Huntington can ride a skateboard. I taught him a bunch of stupid stuff.
He does shake and things like that, yeah.
But for the most part, when you have a border collie, they're a wet sponge. They're a dry sponge. It's just looking to soak up stuff. So I could teach Lucas a new trick in an hour. So he had a ton of stuff that he would do.
Right.
But yes, what I would consider his best trick was that he was my canine training assistant.
Oh, yeah.
He could walk with other dogs who were reactive.
And we missed that.
Yes.
I know you miss him way more, but that was one thing that our company, our organization missed. And now we get by on whatever dog.
Yeah, we find the best dog in the pack. And
okay, come here. You've
been promoted.
This is your job for a week.
Yeah.
Before you get adopted, my friend. Anyway, I just want to bring the point home that the tricks, things like that, are kind of the icing on the cake. It's fun. It passes some time, and it does force the dog to use its brain, which makes a dog tired, which is good.
Yeah.
But don't be too hard on your dog's spot if it doesn't work out. Just hang with it.
Yeah.
But
your dog's not Tank. He's probably not going to have a commercial.
No. And we're still waiting for that second call back. Anyway,
he got shelved.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe when I said I taught him not to kill people, maybe I was only joking, by the way, but maybe he thought I was serious. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We totally appreciate it. We cannot save dogs without your support, so please go to thelittlereddog.org, adopt, foster, log on, get some training. If you need some training, we do that. Also, please donate. Again, thelittlereddog.org. We appreciate you guys. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Gary.
For sure.
Hey everybody, I'm Steve with The Little Red Dog. Thanks so much for listening to the Love of Dog podcast. Please subscribe. If you're listening, please rate us and let us know if we're doing horribly or awesome. We need that feedback. Also, when you do subscribe to YouTube, you'll get an alert for our virtual adoption events. We need your input. We need you to watch and support our cause. Thank you so much. We're on a mission from Dog. Take care, everybody.
Nice job.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm still looking for those lyrics for our song, man. No one's emailing me. Come on, if you want some lyrics, littlereddog.org.
Come on, we've got a really great guest.
We got it.
We got a
Okay,
great guest
sorry.
in our
PJ
studio.
is so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, everybody. I have PJ in studio, and PJ has a very, very special guest for us. PJ, please introduce our next guest.
Welcome to Teeanna Isaac. This is somebody that I actually know personally, and I am very excited that she is going to be on the show today. She is beautiful. She's smart. She is very talented. And normally I hate women like that. Just kidding. I really don't. I really don't. But I can't hate her because she's so sweet, and I really adore her. So thank you so much for being here. We're so glad.
Well, thanks, PJ. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Before PJ jumps in, I just want to tell everyone that the reason why we're doing this is we had such a good response to the pet bereavement. People had so many questions afterwards. PJ had a really good idea, and so throwing it back to PJ.
So in addition, again, to being very talented, she's a great marketer. What I didn't know, and even though I worked with her for a long time, that she's also an author, and she's about to launch her third book, I think, next month. And I didn't know, and so I was like, whoa. So I thought it was really interesting, and it was on the topic of grief. And even though we talked about pet bereavement, as Steve said, the other thing is that we all lose people, and it's tough. And I don't think most people really understand it sometimes, what people are going through at the time until it happens to you, right? So Teeanna, you lost your dad at a very young age, and you've written some books to help you and others cope with it, right? Is that
Right.
okay? So have you always journaled or written? I think you said it's sort of, your thing. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so totally. My whole entire life, like even before my dad passed, I've always been like the diary kind of person. Like even all my middle school dramas in diaries, and like everything that's happening, like the day to day, I always was a diary person. But after my dad passed when I was 16, my grandma gifted me like a really, really nice diary that was like, it has crystals, and it has like a lot of Christianity, like Christian quotes and Bible verses in it. So it was kind of her way of saying like, write this down, like how you're feeling and what you're going throughout this. So I really appreciate that, like the fact that she gave me that, because I wrote every single, from the moment it happened, like I have thing like how I felt the next day written down. And I know a lot of people don't have that, like they just like, oh, I don't remember how I felt the next day or the next week or how the next week looks. So I wrote down every single day, every single emotion I went through, like if it was bad, if it was good days, like everything. So I've always kept a diary or a journal. I even still do now. Like every single year I'll buy a new one just to write down my days and like align, so I see what happened this time last year or this time 2 years ago. So I love writing down anything. Like always feel like super big on writing, and my dad was big on writing too. He wrote down like all his goals, so he made sure to write down whatever my goals. Like if you have it written, then that's how you accomplish them. Like that's what he tried to teach us. So I'm super big on like writing anything down.
That's awesome. I'm a little afraid that I might be in one of her diaries, but but anyway, we'll move on.
Under B.
No, and yeah, probably a big B. I mean, I lost both my parents when I was younger, not as young as you. And I know personally that losing somebody is very hard. And, you were very young. So I know that the writing helped you, but tell us about your journey and how the books and just journaling did help you with that.
Yeah, I was 16 years old. Like I can just get into the whole story.
Sure,
So
yeah.
my parents, like, I mean, my dad, he passed at like 42.
So young.
Wow,
And
so
so
young.
it was completely unexpected. He was just like a healthy man. He was just strong, like super big, super tall, like just a healthy man. So yeah, I woke up and there was a fireman who opened my door, and it didn't register at all. So I just sat there still and like shocked. So I just didn't even question why there was a random stranger in the room. Like I didn't even think about it. And then like maybe 10 minutes go by, and then my mom comes in, but she's not frantic and she's not screaming and crying. Like she's crying, but she's not frantic, which I really like appreciated from her side, especially hearing her side of the story. Like she made sure to gather herself before coming and talking to us, which, you know, like she made sure to stay calm. And she came and she like hugged us and she told us what happened. And she just, you know, we were just shocked. Like we didn't know what to do, but there was nothing. Like we didn't see any of the ambulance. We didn't see him. We didn't see anything. Everything was gone by the time she came and talked to us. So I really do appreciate that for her, like what she did for us like she made sure that we weren't traumatized. Like we didn't see anything so horrible. Like, so I really do think that was a great fast thinking on her end. And it was crazy. Like, I think that it was just unexpected. And a lot of the days we just sat there and we didn't do much. And then my journey kind of like, I went off to Texas because my mom, we had the funeral in Texas where everybody's from. And so my mom just got us to Texas, got the funeral. She did the whole thing really fast. Like it all happened in days. Like it was so fast. It moved really quick and everything was so well organized. Like it was no issues, no big problems, nothing. And I spoke at the funeral because I was the only one of the siblings that was able to speak at the funeral. Everybody else was saying they couldn't do it. And so I'm the only one, and I'm the youngest of the four. But I spoke at the funeral, and everybody was like, you know, I spoke on behalf of the siblings, and it was interesting. But then I went back. I stayed in Texas a little bit too long, so then I fell behind. I fell behind in like school because I was in high school, and so I fell behind in school. And by the time I came back, I was so far behind that the catching up was just not working. So I had to go to continuation school. And I went to the continuation school behind my high school so that I could have enough credits to graduate on time the next year. So then I would be an actual senior. Otherwise, I would have had to repeat. So then I just did all my continuation school, made it to there. So it was a big deal. Like I graduated high school right on time. Everything was fine. Like it was crazy because I didn't expect to. And then I went to college right after that. And I was the first person in all my siblings to go to college, like in my whole family to go to college. And ever since then, I've just been on the journey of like self-discovery and like using that to like push myself and doing a lot of writing and like encouraging kids. And I do a lot of like grief counseling and like helping other people that are going through anything, because a lot of my grief kind of I look to help. Like I look to read other books, and I've read so many grief books or memoirs or things that people are going through. I've read a book called Black Widow. I'm not a widow. Like I just read things just to help me like in that way. And it gave me a better understanding of what my mom went through and how she felt. So it's been a long journey, and I think it's still a journey. I don't think you get over grief at any point. Like it's been 9 years and someone could say something and I'll just break down crying. Like it's still like hard, but I think just finding something that makes you happy and you're passionate about, and that's going to change the world, and that you use your grief to do that, to do better.
Well, I definitely would know that your dad is proud of you because you are an amazing woman. So that is not a surprise. And I'm guessing that you get you're tall. You're really tall. So I guess you get that from your dad. So
yes, yeah. My mom's tall too. Like we're just a
tall family.
Tall family. Nice.
Yeah,
I wish I was in that family. You know, I want to talk about, if I can, I'll ask you, or just actually I just want to make a statement. How amazing of your mom to be that strong,
saying the same thing.
To do that, because that almost choked me up to have to go through that herself, but also try to make it less painful, if you can even do that for your kids. That's pretty amazing. So
no, and I didn't even understand what she did for us until this year, like because I never asked her what happened during those times. So when I was writing the book, there's a segment entitled "Widow to Widow" in the book. And so just her giving her feedback, like her tips and like what happened to her. And she explained it from like the second that he started like not looking like himself in the bed, because he passed away in the bed with her. And like she explained the whole thing and how she went to the kitchen and she was pacing and trying to bring him back to life, and like stuff that I didn't know that happened, but she went through so much. And even her fact that she had survivor's remorse, I had no idea until this year.
Right.
And so she's like, oh, why didn't it be me? Why wasn't it me? Like, he's this, and he had dreamed of the future, and she's a day-to-day person, like not a future person. And he thought big picture, long term, and she's not like that. And so she's like, it's not fair. Like, I'm day to day and he's future. So it's just, it's a lot. And I really do, like, I learned to really appreciate her this year because she did so much. Like, I can't even imagine doing half the things she did because our life didn't change. Like, you know, in the movies, like when the dad passes, we lose the house and everybody just everybody's broke now. And it's just like, no, we lived the exact same life. Like, we had the same amount of like food in the fridge and we had the same apartment. Like, it was a 4-bedroom apartment. We still stayed in there, even though there was only 2 of us left. Like, she made sure to keep it the same as much as she could.
Well, what
an amazing woman.
The main point of the show really is how what are good leaders. And your mom, you just described it. She was calm. She was confident.
Thought of others.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. You know, so if anybody's interested, you can go to her website. It's her name, and we'll put it up here, teeannaisaac.com. She just launched her website. So it's amazing. It looks great. So tell us a little bit about that. About the website.
Yeah, so my website is basically just where you could find like resources. I write a blog once a week of just like different topics that I can, like, most of my blog topics come from TD Jakes, like whatever I listen to him in the morning. So in the mornings, like if it resonated, I'll write something about it. So once a week, I'll just post it, what I wrote. So it's just supposed to be like a healing resources. You could find my books there, and you could like get to know me, or if you want to talk to me, or like you have questions for me, anything. Like it's an open platform where I take comments, anything. So it's basically supposed to be for healing, and I have a lot of downloadable resources on there for anyone going through any kind of mental health issues or dealing with grief. So I like it. I think it looks really good. It's been helpful even just for me.
No, it does. It looks amazing. I mean, when you said you did it yourself, I was like, whoa, it's pretty cool. And it is very helpful. There are a lot of things on there. There's a lot of quotes from other authors. Maya Angelou, you quote her, which she's one of my favorite authors. And, you know, obviously she went through a very difficult life as well.
Yes.
Different, but also difficult. And I had not heard this quote. I think, let me get it right. I'm going to read it. So, as soon as healing takes place, go out and heal somebody else. So is she an inspiration to you? And why that quote?
Yeah, I think that she definitely is an inspiration to me. One of the biggest things that I ever got from her, and I'm not going to quote it word for word, but I know she said something like this, where it was kind of like there's like, you need to share your story. Like, that was her thing. Like, you have to share your story, basically. Like, that's what you add to the world is your story. I was scared to tell people, like, even when I would meet someone, I wouldn't even say like, oh, this is what happened. Like, I'd be too scared to say like, what's going on with my dad, or even like at work, like how you guys didn't know. Like, even people at work don't know. Like, they told me on Father's Day, like coworkers were like, have a great weekend with your dad. And I didn't say anything. Like, I just said, it was like, okay, I will. Like, but I'm not, you know, so right. I think that she said to share your story, and I need to work on that, but that's what this book is for. Like, that's why she's inspiration for me. It's like, I have to share this. I feel like it would be a disjustice to the world if I don't get this story out, because I know there's people that are going through similar things, especially like with family issues, like deep-rooted family issues that came about after someone passes. Like, stuff just happens, and like there's a lot of negative effects on the family circle and the family unit when someone dies, especially the dad. So I think it's important for like this story to be heard. And when she said to heal yourself and then heal others, that's a super big inspiration to me, because that is what I'm doing now. Like, it took me 9 years to heal myself, and it took me 9 years to get where I'm at now, just to be okay. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm still not all the way healed. I don't think you're ever going to get over grief. I just think that I'm able to now manage it better than I could before. Like, sure. I don't want to harm myself or have to rely on crutches or anything. Like, I think that would help someone not have to go that path. So, and not have to do it, take 9 years. Like, maybe it'll take them less time if I'm able to share my story.
Right.
No, it's pretty interesting. And, you know, you did, like, I was looking on, obviously I went to your website, and I did sign up for the blog, and I got my blog post. I really, just an aside, nothing to do with it, but I love that when I did sign up for the blog, I got this very sweet, personalized message from you. And I really did feel like, oh, she just wrote that to me. And that's really, That is pretty amazing because most people, you just get the kind of the, oh, blah, 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 thanks for joining my mailing list. And it wasn't like that. So it was very thoughtfully done. And I really appreciated that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I definitely am writing them by hand. So I'm every single time I type it up myself.
Oh,
See, I told you she
that's
was
awesome.
amazing. She is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you talk a little bit about mental health issues on the website. And I think, you know, that is such a hot topic right now. You know, we hear about it, and especially young people. I mean, pandemic, yes, but even pre-pandemic, there's that mental health has been, and it's one of those that, you know, people talk about in hushed tones. They don't want to. Oh, I don't want to talk about mental health issues in my family, and I think everybody has them. So, and especially young people, it has been especially hard, at least a lot in the news. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I actually think that this new generation is like the what I don't even know what they're called, Gen Z. They are super big and open about their mental health. Like this is like the most I've heard about it. Like it's on TikTok and they're super big on it. I think that they've realized now, like they're not scared to say, oh, I'm in therapy, I'm seeing a therapist. Like they're not scared of that, but the generations before that have been so like hush hush about it. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's caused a lot of dark times. Like people just do stuff by themselves and they don't really share what they're going through. So I think now we're starting to be big on mental health and like let's go to therapy. They have therapy online that's free, and let's talk, like let's do group meditations, and people are starting to pick it up better. But I think that, you know, mental health is it's a super hot topic. It's big, it's real, especially pandemic times. Like everyone, I was there, like everybody faced some kind of sadness because you're so lonely. And even when you have like the COVID, I think that you go through something so mental. Like my grandparents both caught at the same time, and they would call me crying just because they can't go outside, and they're just like, it depressed them. Like it made them so depressed. So it's so weird that that's what it does, but it is like a really important time to focus on your mental health, to really like get to know yourself and spend a lot of time with yourself because you have time right now. Like focus on healing yourself.
Right. And that can be whether it's grief or something else that's going on.
Anything.
So I think it's very important. Okay. Okay. So you have, I'm so stupid because I didn't even tell people the name of your book. But why don't you tell me the name of your new book that's coming out, when it's coming out, and then I want to talk about the books you already have because I got some questions on those.
So my new book that's launching on November 11th is entitled Why I Had to Lose. It is a book on my self-discovery journey through grief. It's super personal. It's taken me 9 years to write. It's everything that's pulled and plucked from my diaries over 9 years. And then every single chapter I end it with like a tip or a trick or what I did, that like just tips and like things that help people at the end of every chapter. Like even if it's a sad chapter, it kind of always ends on a positive note. So they don't end just sad. None of them do. Very,
very cool. So the other 2 books, and I gave you those things that I don't have. So tell me about the other 2 books. And I'm going to, spoiler alert, I know at least one of them is a coloring book, and I have to ask, why a coloring book? So start out and tell us about your books, and then you could answer my question.
Yeah, so one's a coloring book and one's an adult activity book. So the first is a coloring book that is kind of it's really for children. It's aimed at like building confidence for young girls, because that's kind of what I've been working on, and that's who I've been working with in my like spare time and doing counseling. And my 2 nieces, I have 2 nieces that I'm like I'm helping my sister with raising them, and I just think that confidence is like really like, I don't know, it's super important to me, especially for the young women. Yep. So it's just a confidence booster. So it's kind of like the girls are writing every single day, like, I am brave, I am strong, I am like, so that's the basis of it. It's just like giving confident boosts for young girls. And then the activity book is for like adults. So it's kind of like a stress relief, because I find that if I'm able to color, if I'm like anxious or I'm having like a anxiety day, I just like to color and like draw. But it's an activity book where I'll say like, write down 3 things you're grateful for today, or journal this, or do this meditation. So every single page has activities that are like stress, like reducing activities, help with anxiety or depression and things like that. So they're like coloring book and activity book. They're both pretty similar, but I definitely think that coloring and drawing and things like that help with anxiety.
No, definitely. And that's such a brilliant idea, actually. I would have never thought of that. And I echo that. And you know, Steve has heard me say that because of our daughter. It's like, I always want the young women to be confident and strong and believe in themselves, because life will tear you down, and you are the only person that's going to be the one that is going to take care of yourself, and that's why you need to do that. Absolutely. So, I mean, I think you've sort of answered this, but I do want to give you this forum. So why did you want to share this with the world? I mean, like you said, it's kind of hard sometimes to share that, sometimes people feel sorry for you and you don't want that, or some people will treat you differently, but what made it so important for you to share that with the world?
I think it was important for me because I started to consider the fact that it could help someone else. And like, even if it's super scary for me to share and I have to be vulnerable in this, and, I have to tell people about all the dark times and the negative things that happened with my family, and it's embarrassing, but it's like, I feel like it could help someone else. And what really pushed me to really, really finish this book, because I've been writing it for 9 years, so it just recently is ready, is because I was finishing it up on like writing in my journal on my roof of my building. And then a woman came and we started talking and I got to know her. She was a complete stranger. And then like within maybe like an hour of talking, she was crying and she's like, oh, I needed to hear this. Like I really needed this. Like she really needed it. And I felt like, oh my goodness, like this is it. Like this is why I'm here. This is why I'm writing this. It's like, this isn't just so that I could write a diary every single day for only myself to see. And a lot of my diary, I say that at the end, like, this is just for me. Like, this is just for myself. So the whole time I thought it was for me, but I think that now I realize, like, this is for someone else. Like, this is to help somebody. Somebody needs this. So I think now I'm ready to share it, and it's been long enough. I don't feel embarrassed as much as I used to be like, because now I'm more confident in the ability to say, like, this is what I went through. This is what I faced. I've had this, and it's, even if they're embarrassing, I'm open with it. I could talk about it now more than ever. So I think now was the right time.
That's awesome. Go ahead.
I find it, first of all, you're so sweet. And I think, well, I know, I wasn't doubting you. I find it interesting that you keep saying the word embarrassed about something that happened to you that was out of your control. In some ways, unfortunately, I'm a parent. I'm hoping that I do pass before my kids. Why do you keep using? Well, why do you think you use that word embarrassed?
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird feeling, but when you're in high school and I went back to school, I was like embarrassed to say like where I was that whole time and what happened.
I see.
Like I went back and I had to say like, oh, like this is what happened. My dad passed, and then now you are the girl whose dad died. Like now in school, it's like, oh, her dad died, and it's going around and everybody's talking about it, and it's like it's embarrassing in that sense.
I see.
And it's also sometimes it's embarrassing to admit to your mental health problems that you face.
Sure.
Like with my situation, I also face like suicidal thoughts and things like that, and that was embarrassing and hard for me to even admit to myself. So when I was able to and comfortable to admit it to other people, and now it's like to write it in a book that everyone's going to read is.
I get that.
It is embarrassing, but it's like now you have to help because somebody's going through that alone in their room and they're not telling anyone.
Do you feel like once you produced the books and published the books and got that information out, did that help you feel more secure with your situation and you were able to have more confidence in sharing? Did that come first? It sounds like that came first. The books came first and then the confidence, or was it the other way?
I think they kind of were neck and neck.
Okay.
Like I think now I was writing the book, but I was only writing it for myself. And now once I felt more confident with myself and I felt more secure in myself and I could share it with others. Like now I don't feel scared to say it. Like I remember it, like when I was in high school and I wrote this poem about my dad, and then I posted it on my Instagram, and then I deleted it right then. Like I was like, oh no, I'm not ready to share that what I'm going through. And it was a sad poem about my dad and like talking to God. And now it's on my website. It's at the bottom of my website. Yeah, that same poem. Yeah. So
I was going to try to read it, but I thought I would probably start crying. So, but you should go to her website and read it. It is very sweet.
Yeah, it's on. And I was so embarrassed of that poem that I didn't share it until now. And I wrote that in high school. So
it's crazy. Again, you were so young, and it is so hard. And you talked about the book saving your life, and I get that. I get that why, and it's probably cathartic, even though you had to go through it. And 9 or 10 years is a long time to have to go through that.
Yeah.
Just, a crazy question, because you self-publish, which I think is also incredibly, a talented and wonderful thing to do. So if somebody's listening to our podcast, all 20 people who listen, okay, we have more than that. Are there any tips you can give for self-publishing? Just, completely off this topic, but.
Yeah. To be honest, it is hard. Like, I'm not even gonna try to sugarcoat it. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy. It's an investment. Yeah, it's an investment. Like, it's pricey and it's going to cost you, but it's like, and you have to learn a lot of things that you didn't even think about, like random things, like you have to buy an ISBN number, which that's like $300. You have to do your book cover and make sure that your book cover is marketable, and the colors have to go along with certain marketable stuff. Like if it's black, then it means this. If it's green, then it means this. So you need to like do your research on colors and fonts and make sure that it's going towards your target audience. And it's a lot. I mean, you have to get it edited, you have to get it formatted. That's going to cost you. So nothing's free at all. And then you have to do all your marketing yourself. And, marketing is a whole beast in and of itself. Sure. So it's like marketing is hard enough, and doing your website and doing that yourself it's a process, and it's long. And I think that my advice is to talk to someone who's done it before. And I met with a woman before, like my friend, she actually published her own 3 books so far. And I talked to her about it. So she really was helpful in like processes and understanding legal things and what's happening. And, when you have someone edit your book, they have to sign an NDA. And like, I wouldn't have never knew that. I would have just gave it up. Like, here's my book. Like they could steal all your words and just rewrite it themselves, you know? So doing that, it's make sure you do everything by the book. Because it definitely gets ugly. It definitely can. There's a possibility, but it's really fun too. Like you have all your creative rights. Like I'd rather that than have a publisher tell me I have to do this, or I have to have this book cover, or I have to do this. Like I like that I picked my book cover, I picked my title, I picked everything about my book. It's something I made, so I feel like that's mine. Like I feel like it's personal to me, and I prefer to do it that way. The only reason that I would ever think about publishing is because of the whole marketing aspect. Like I just don't have the time. Like sometimes I don't have the time to give to building a marketing strategy I have a full-time job,
Sure.
I was just about to say that she does all of this and she's working full-time. So it makes it even more amazing.
It's a lot. So it's like, that's the only thing that I would, if you have time, then do it. But I feel like if you don't, like it's hard. It's definitely going to have like hire a marketer. There's this thing called Upwork, and I don't know if anyone's familiar with this platform, but Upwork is great because you can get an editor on there, you can get a formatter, you can get a book cover artist, you could get anything on there. So I use a lot of Upwork.
Awesome. Cool. That's cool. Why I Had to Lose. Her book is coming out on November 11th. Please go to her website, teeannaisaac.com. Lots of resources, amazing story, great quotes. Things. This is somebody that you need to watch because she is going places. I don't know. She's going to be somebody that everybody's going to hear about because she's, like I said, she's talented, she's smart, confident, beautiful, and I just adore her. So,
well,
love you.
One thing I want to say for anybody listening or watching, if anyone's listening to her story and thinking, what the hell does this have to do with about dogs, then you're not paying attention. And I'm serious about that.
Yeah.
On this show, we're constantly talking about what are good leaders. Mm-hmm. Good leaders have to take care of themselves first. What did she just tell us?
Yeah.
She had to feel good about herself before she could help others.
Yeah.
If you aren't good here, you're not going to be able to help a dog, a human, anything. So I want everyone to take that away. And then on top of that, her story about her mom and the confidence and the calmness, obviously,
she comes from good stock.
Yes, and the fruit didn't drop very far from the tree. Yeah. I don't know her as well as PJ, but the one thing that I love is that she is confident. I would follow her if she said, "Hey, dumbass old man, you need to go this way." Like, okay, show me the way, man. This is what we're constantly talking about. This is good leadership, confidence and calm. Anyway, it's great to have you on the show.
It was great to have you on the show. If you go to her website, like I said, teeannaisaac.com, and you can sign up for her blog. You'll get a personal message. You can also choose to get a chapter sent to you, so she will do that. And then go to Amazon.com on November 11th and buy that book because I can tell you it's going to be amazing. She is amazing. watch out for this woman. We love her.
Watch out.
All right. We love you, honey. Thanks
Take
for
care.
being here.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Teeanna, Isaac,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.